Um, what I remember is that I was under a lot of pressure. Um, First of all, because Sean had found the money, and once I came up with the concept, which was basically that it would happen at a summer camp before it was open. He and Steve Miner found the location in New Jersey, where Crystal Lake would be located for the film. And so it was. I was writing as fast as I could. I wrote the screenplay in about 2 weeks. The first part took the longest, which was to figure out
Yes.
the kind of location that we would be in, and how we would create a thing as Carpenter and Hill did for Halloween. How would you create a location where teenagers can get in trouble, and you can't simply dial 911 or whatever the number is in Argentina for getting the police.
Yes.
They're stuck on their own, they're isolated, and so it took a while. It seems obvious now, but it took a while to come up with the summer camp. And once I did that, I was on my way, and I rolled. Because I had all of the training I'd had up until that point, I had deadlines. I had to write for a deadline for the bookstore, Kojak, and things like that, because they had a definite publishing schedule. So I've never been one of those writers who waits till the last night, before he has to get something in. And so I got it in. In terms of seeing the actual production of Friday the 13th, I went to the auditions, but the only time I was on set was the day they were sticking the arrow through Kevin Bacon's throat.
Yes.
That I was I loved to see, but the problem was the reason I wasn't on the set was that they didn't have enough money to pay me to be on the set, and I didn't have enough money to survive. At this point, about a week before Friday the 13th opened in May of 1980, I was trying to sell my blood to this company that was studying antibodies. And they said if I had enough antibodies, they would pay me $15 for a pint. I didn't have enough antibodies, so I didn't get the $15. So anyway, that's the story right up to Friday the 13th opening. It opened, and I could not believe the reaction. Well, something inside me said that I should make the villain, the antagonist, very, very different from Michael Myers in Halloween. So the first response was, okay, make him a female. All right, so I made him a female. And then the rest was sort of written in my own history, because it turns out, though I wasn't aware of it at the time, that the reason Mrs. Voorhees was motivated the way she was, and this was a psychologist told me years later, she said, the reason that you wrote Mrs. Voorhees as the killer was that she was the mother you always wanted to have. My mother was, she's not a killer, but if I had, I know I joke, but I'd say things like, if I had drowned at camp and had my real mother and I was Jason, she would have said, well, you only have yourself to blame. It's your fault for drowning. I told you to take swimming lessons, and you shouldn't have eaten right before you swam, and all that kind of stuff. So here I created my fantasy mom, that if I had been bullied or mistreated by anybody, she would have killed them. I realize that's extreme, but so is horror. So I got to have the mother to kill all mothers, and it's wonderful. And it's why I don't really have any particular interest other than financial in the sequels, because in my film, Jason Voorhees was clearly dead.